Hello there, you teens. Love of fragrance. Welcome back to my channel. It's so grateful to be back with you this afternoon. I just want you to know that it has been a beautiful day. It's beautiful to me because of the fact that I have an opportunity to perform a video on a fragrance that I just truly love from one of the most major companies that I love in the world. But however, unfortunately, it's a pretty nifty day today. Unfortunately, we have snow. But then again, I guess it's fortunate because this is the first snow we've received the entire winter. But however, it's beautiful. We have no extensive accumulation or anything, but it's still beautiful to just see the ground a little white. It gives you that indication that the weather happens to be appropriate with the season. We have seen summer all winter long. That's why I'm so happy to be able to pull out the wool attire, and that's why I have on my sweater today. Hope you like it. Anyways, my video today is going to consist of a fragrance that, like I indicated before, I love. It was gifted to me, and when it was gifted to me, honey, I was preaching, and I guess someone got tired of me preaching about the fragrance to the point where they took it upon themselves to make sure that it was in my possession. Honey, it's in my collection, and I'm going to share it with you today. But I'm not going to just share the one. I'm going to share you another one with a little bit of surprise of something that I didn't know was on the market. I've never heard of it. But honey, I just want you to know, I know you've heard of the one I'm going to present to you today. It happens to be Idole. And it's by Lancome. Yes, it was gifted to me recently. And it's been in my collection, but I'm just not getting around to presenting it to you. I want you to know that what's most impressionable about this particular fragrance to me happens to be the fact that I am so impressed with this little bitty thin bottle here, honey. It happens to be the thinnest bottle ever. And it's the thinnest bottle on the market right now when it comes to fragrances. So it's the thinnest bottle ever produced by, utilized for a fragrance container. But it reminds me almost like of a very thin cigarette lighter. Either way, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's very attractive, honey, and I love the feel of it. This glass is so smooth and delicate. Honey, it's too bad it's breakable because it's almost about the size of, I guess, a cell phone. And it gives you that feel of your cell phone before you put a cover on it. But honey, this is much more delicate than a cell phone. It's so slippery. I'm afraid sometimes I'm gonna drop it. So that's why it's still in the container. That's why I have maintained it in the container for the extended period of time that I have, because it's so delicate and I can't afford to drop this. But anyways, this particular fragrance right here, I love. And you're gonna love it too. And if you don't have any Idole Lancome, I highly recommend it to you because of the fact that it's very modern, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's strong to some extent, but exceptionally feminine. And it doesn't have a powdery fragrance to it at all. But it's very light and sophisticated. But excessive floral content within this here particular fragrance. The formula itself has an originality that's designed by some of the most eloquent, sophisticated perfumers that there are, because you have 3 perfumers that designed this particular fragrance right here, and they're all female, which gives it a very classy, eloquent scent. And because I guess women know what women are like, I guess. I don't know. All I know is that the 3 women that designed this particular fragrance right here brought some exquisiteness and sophistication to the table that are beyond expectations in any fragrance, honey. So naturally, eloquently, beautifully, originally designed to the point where you will not be disappointed with this one. This here is, to me, considered, I guess, a daytime fragrance for any age group, literally, for any age group, but a daytime fragrance, but you know, love a fragrance. She love her fragrances, and she's going to wear them anytime, day, night, morning, evening, bed, whatever. It doesn't matter to me as long as it isn't really harmful to anyone else. I appreciate a lovely fragrance, and this right here happens to be a very enticing, lovely, sophisticated fragrance that are beyond anyone's expectations. And I am so proud of Lancome perfumers for developing this here very classy fragrance. And Lancome, for this particular one right here, they have other fragrances that are Idole, but this here happens to be the most modern one within their collection. And the notes in this particular fragrance consist of floral, cypress, and it consists of bergamot, pear, jasmine, and the floral flavor, and the fragrance itself is excessively floral, and it's a lovely, lovely, lovely fragrance, and it has a little bit of sweetness to it. So I assume that originates from the pears within there. And the muskiness is very distinctive in the fragrance itself. I really, really highly recommend this fragrance to you because it has exquisite notes within it that gives it an exquisite scent, and the aroma is very, very, very alluring, and it's very attractive also. And I would find this to be very, very complimentary on anyone throughout their activities throughout their day. You are going to receive some exceptional compliments regarding this because it has an extensive, strong, light, delicate, powerful fragrance to it. And I would assume the length of wearability for this particular fragrance would be adequate for your specific occasions. And if not, just get your little rollerball and carry it around with you and utilize it in between your engagements. If you consider you need to refreshen yourself, I highly recommend you can attain a travelo, they call them, a travelo, or particularly a rollerball to refreshen yourself throughout the day, because this has some sweetness, and I would say that it would have some durability, but it just depends on your time frame, your extensiveness, your activities, and what you are being subjected to, or your engagements consist of, or your lifestyle. But either way, wherever you wear this fragrance, honey, you will be excessively proud of the fact of your possession of this here particular Idole Lancome fragrance. And you will be assured that you will have an eloquent scent applied to your body throughout your day and your activities and your engagements. And I highly recommend this product to you. But I want to explain something to you right here, right now. I was out and I just happened to run across a fragrance that I had literally no knowledge of. I had any information regarding. I had never heard of it. I had never seen it anywhere before, and I just happened to pick it up. I guess you would classify it as maybe a blind buy. I have several fragrances that I have attained as a blind purchase, which means that I have no information regarding the fragrance, no knowledge, and I just purchased it without ever testing it or having any samples to give me any indication exactly what I would be investing in if I were to purchase that particular fragrance. And this here particular fragrance happens to be one of them. The name of it happens to be Fleur Paris. And the reason why I'm introducing this fragrance into this video with the Lancome Idole, because once I attained it, I had to bring it out the store. It was not very expensive. It was very affordable. It was much less expensive than the Idole, because I've checked the prices on Idole, and it's affordable, but it's pretty costly. I think so. Anyways, this particular fragrance wasn't costly at all. It was very, to me, inexpensive, and I attained it as a blind buy, but I couldn't they had no testers. I couldn't test it in the department store. But honey, I just want you to be aware of the fact that this here Fleur Paris It happens to be a fragrance that evokes a feeling of elegance, pretty much just like Idole, but it also has a beautiful floral scent. But I must make you aware of the fact, if you've never heard of this fragrance before, it has an extensive similarity of Idole. I was so shocked when I smelled this fragrance and I brought it home. And sometimes I compare my fragrances, and I happen to have been testing my fragrances, and I tested this one with Idole. And I was so impressed with the scent that this particular fragrance had. And I put it up there, right there in a category, almost in a category with Lancome. And the reason why I'm telling you this, for individuals that want to attain a fragrance that's less expensive and has some similarities, and also that could possibly be complementary and have some maturity to it, or some sweetness and lightness and some sophistication to it, as Idole has. I highly recommend this one as a substitute. I wouldn't say it's a dupe. I don't think it was designed for that intention, but I find Idole to be a very prominent fragrance that definitely exceeds anyone's expectations. Let me stop. No, expectations of Lancome are very, very high, but when I compare this fragrance with Idole, this particular fragrance right here exceeded my expectations. It's a very sharp, musky fragrance, and it has exceptional amount. The formula consists of an exceptional amount of floral materials. I could not locate exactly what ingredients this particular fragrance has in it, but it's very distinctive and very admirable. And I highly recommend that if you don't want to invest the amount of financial resources that Lancome's selling their particular Idole for, I would say this here would be a wonderful substitute. It has similar characteristics, it has a similar formula, and the collection itself and these particular fragrances are very, very similar to Lancome's Idole. So I recommend this particular fragrance to you only as a substitute to Idole. If you don't want to, if you want a very inexpensive fragrance that has also quality and has the characteristics of a very high-end fragrance, a very modern fragrance, a very, very sophisticated, elegant fragrance. They both have some very distinctive similarities. So I highly recommend this to you, and you will be very content with a very lesser expensive fragrance, as you are just, I'm not going to say they're identical, but like I stated before, there are some similarities, but I just want you to know that for those that does not like to spend top dollar for fragrances or pay the market price or value for a fragrance, I want you to know that there are other fragrances that has major similarities to the more expensive brands that will give you some of the qualifications that you aspire to attain in a more modernized, eloquent, sophisticated, sharp, eloquent, lovely fragrance. I highly recommend these ones to you. And I'm going over my time frame, so I'm going to have to cut this video short, but I thank you very much for tuning in, and please remember to subscribe. These are very mature fragrances, but can be worn for any occasion, and I'm sure you will find them very extensively lovely and very appealing and very luxurious to wear. So you have a wonderful afternoon, and thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.